Oh hey internet, welcome back to the Tide QQ channel. Welcome back to Touhou 16 Hidden Star or 4 Seasons. And I'm sure I got your attention with this one. I'm sure everyone clicked on this going, oh fuck. Oh fuck, he's lost his mind. He's, he, he was about to burn his computer down and now he's playing it again. Yeah, the last Touhou video, if you didn't catch the Chimera video that shortly came after that, you know, I know sometimes those type of like blowout pissy videos can be kind of like, on the best of trailers, that sort of thing. But I don't know. I don't particularly like that stuff. I don't. I'm certainly a giant asshole, but I don't like to necessarily like, be that every second of every day. I'd like to think that like, maybe I picked the good parts to be, or big good times to be an asshole, and that what really like accentuates it. The fact that I'm not just impulsive. That I know that maybe some proper timing of it all. I don't know. I'm just rambling now. But I wasn't gonna let my poor attitude, that kind of burnt out rather quick, I would say, sour my attempts to really get at this game. And something that really stuck to me in between recordings was that like maybe I just need to try something a little different. Maybe the frustration was really coming out of something of like I was doing the same thing over and over and over, and that's what really was making it making things difficult. So although I never really necessarily planned it to be, I thought let's use a couple continues, just to maybe not like be killed by the same enemies, maybe to kind of lessen the damage of flipping out over a simple mistake or a silly mistake, just kind of seeing how that works. Like a proper scumlord, we actually credit feed this game, just to kind of see how what we do now, after some time in normal mode. And it's not terrible. It is pretty terrible, but not the worst thing ever. I think we kind of 3 or 4 CC it. It gets pretty messy at points. But I really think especially when we lose the first continue, ambition really does kind of take like a jump off a cliff, and we kind of just play loose from there. So where we die yet generally at that like 4th level boss, there's not a whole lot after. There's the 4th level boss. There's the 5th level like intro part of the stage where where our current like long jump death is, and I think that's it. To be completely honest, there's that sort of like rush of yin yang enemies, and then there's some tanky fairies, and then the final boss. And actually, another interesting point on this video is that we take this sort of strategy we have with playing our releases really aggressive on bosses and some enemies to preemptively defend ourselves as well. As that, I mean, late in the game, when all these sort of yin-yang enemies start spouting off a ton of bullets, it's like, why not before they show up? Like, sit right there and have a release ready, and then just blow them off the screen when they show up. It sounds like it's like pretty basic stuff. Like, of course you should be doing that. Why haven't you been doing that? And I think possibly it's because we haven't been playing that stage a whole lot to be like, come on now. But, it did dawn on us finally. So we'll certainly see that, and then maybe implement that in the future to actually make parts of that game that's been kind of hairy for us a bit easier. 20k on our point modifier. 10 mil towards our 20 mil extend. This isn't a boss that we have a ton of trouble with. However, as of late, she has been kind of suckering us out of a life here and there. And there's really no particular place where. It's just that we can't be bothered to be consistent, you know. You know, it's always someplace that we really shouldn't be taking damage, but, you know, kind of like this attack, the worst part of that attack is not the sort of bar of gold bullets come down, it's that flash. Well, there's our death there, that white flash that comes out, it's pretty disorienting. I don't know if other people have the same effect, but yeah, when she does that white bar attack, you know, an attack or so ago, like that's the worst part. She shoots out these bullets and there's this flash, and you're like, all right, that took off like a half a second of me preparing where these fucking bullets are. I don't know, maybe I'm just getting old and that glaucoma is really setting in or something. I don't know. Stage 3, not the hardest level. However, the boss at the end of this level has a tendency of being something of a resource sponge. But this is certainly where we can run off with a lot of points as well. At 25k on our point modifier here, so all these blue pickups will be contributing that much to our score. And really, a lot of this stage is going to be sort of placement of your character, where you should be at certain points to kind of get yourself out of trouble and make things easy. You know, and kind of right here, you can just sit right up top here and just waste these enemies. And where you're so high, bruh, you can just immediately pick up their pickups as well. A little out of place there. However, able to run in there and do a little bit of damage. Just under 30 mil for a 40 mil 1-up. And just under 30k, well maybe just under 29k really, for our point modifier. Out of place there. Able to get a couple bullets, but where they're so big, they're just as valuable as the small bullets. So kind of a bad play, but oh well, you know, it wasn't catastrophic by any means. Try to pick up a little extra point modifier there, just to kind of think of the long con, really. 37 out of 40 for our 1-up. And here we are, the boss. Doesn't normally give us a lot of trouble, but like I was saying, you know, we lack the consistency to really put her away every time, especially when she has one attack that's a large pain in the ass. But she should be giving us an extend there. There's the extend right there. So we're at 41 going towards 70 mil. 31k is our point modifier. Yeah, and here comes this trash attack, but dealt with rather quickly. And really with not much trouble. A couple extends, pretty decently placed extends as well, which I think is probably one of the more, what am I trying to say? One of the more, economic, I suppose is the word, the most economic ability than a bomb. So as I bumble through my words, we just go through that last form as well. So just under 50 mil of our 70 mil goal, and this is the part of the game where it really starts to shape the run. You know, as you know, in the previous stages, You know, we hope that we didn't make any sort of boneheaded, stupid moves. And in this stage, we kind of hope that we do better than usual and actually pull off some magic tricks, some good dodges, and some plays. That would kind of indicate we played this game more than once, you know? Trying to find a pattern. And honestly, if we need an excuse, if there is an excuse, I honestly used the wrong button there, and I just kind of froze, trying to be protected by that misuse of that extent of that release, and just found myself in just a bad place and got killed there. And I mean, that's really all part of it, you know. You're doing things that you're not really too comfortable or familiar with still, and you're just making stupid errors, whether that's like mechanically by dodging bullets, or that's mentally, like you know, using the wrong attack and then the wrong strategy combined with it. Alright. See you later, bitch. And I would say her and her sister, which are the bosses coming up, are the sort of gatekeepers of this game. You know, I would say if there's ever some weird lucky chance that we can face them with like 5 or 6 lives and they only take 1, guess what? We're gonna 1cc this fucking game, you know? Like, I'm not even worried about the last boss. You know, we're gonna, we'll beat this game. It's just, I think, completely hinged on this fight. Kind of part 2 of this sort of fairy barrage. Picking up the 70 mil. Next is 100 mil. 41.5k for our point modifier. However, I'm getting killed there. So if I'm not mistaken, I think we just died once during that whole level. I think that's correct. We got the extend and the lost extend. This is... Oh, excuse me. I have completely misspoken. Wow, we have lost 2 lives already. We are shitty. When I was saying this level's boss is the boss that is the gatekeeper, I am absolutely wrong. I plain forgot about this boss. This boss still has some difficult nonsense with her. But I was more or less referencing the next level of boss. And yeah, we've really played her poorly already. This attack is surprisingly difficult. Not for its pattern, but for the fact that big volleyball is going to push you, in every direction of the screen, and that's where I think you're going to make your largest errors, when you're forced to kind of move into every corner of the screen and put you in positions where you really don't want to be. In a lot of these games, you kind of want to keep movement to a minimum, just so you don't have to deal with all the bullets on the screen, just the ones that are nearby. And that sort of large attack, even despite the fact that they shoot just a small amount of bullets around it, I think that sort of style is where can really be tricky. Now, this is the stage I was talking about before, that if we can enter this stage and meet the bosses and leave rather healthy, that'll be the key. And this is exactly what I was speaking of earlier in the video, when I was saying we're taking a more aggressive approach to these enemies that appear to the top of the screen by rushing up and throwing in extends in their face pretty much before they show up. Might be a strategy we may have to employ in the future. what should really be easy stuff here is that do have to remember that all the tails of those sort of comets still hurt you. So it's not just. Oh, we have a crying baby. 1 second, guys. All right, and now we have Jesus Christ, a sleeping baby. But in the time away, I was thinking like, it'd be really funny if I title this episode like critical saltiness or something like that. Critical salt. Just just to troll everyone, because everyone would be expecting this episode to be more of the same, where I just lose my shit like a child and complain about everything and shout obscenities. But yeah, man, who knows? But in the back of my head, talking about something entirely different though. I've been working. Let's phrase this sentence in a coherent manner. With 2018 approaching, I've considered like changing the style and look of the YouTube site. I know people do that maybe sometimes monthly or every so often, or sometimes not at all. I'm thinking about doing it, annually, and just maybe not on my sort of anniversary, as it were, YouTube's anniversary, but just arbitrarily January, switch it up. So I've been kind of working on that behind the scenes, and it's pretty exciting, just kind of doing the creative thing, and kind of working on that. So expect that in a few months. And here we are at our, I was saying, here we are in our final life. But you know what? Looking at it now, second best run when it comes to points. I mean, I suppose that's not so bad, considering like we lost our shit completely at the end. I mean, and not lost our shit, but like really got just like fuck you, die boss, and lost a bunch of lives at the end. So this is our second continue, or second set of default lives, however that's properly described. And then we are dead again there. Trying to, I really have this chub going on with trying to hit that release on both of the enemies, or both of the bosses at the same time, just to not just capitalize on like damaging both, but like getting both of their patterns. Like in this, like see that? Like see how close they are? Like there I am right in the middle. Like I want all those fucking points. Give them to me. But maybe that's just not in the cards. So those twin assholes are finally gone. Now here's the little bit of stage 5 that I was discussing before. That's can get pretty crowded, but I don't think it's particularly treacherous, only because it gets pretty short. It's just a matter of, do we have a bomb? Do we have enough releases to get by? But here we are, in perfect Type QQ form, huddling in the corner, waiting death. My God, eventually we'll get over that, right? Eventually. Here we are with those tanky fairies I was discussing before. They'll take a bomb each, pretty much, or a release. There's our second CC. On to our 3. With the second one being pretty ugly, and actually continues to be kind of pretty ugly. But it looks like that's it. Now we're on to the last boss, sitting upon her weird throne. It is kind of weird how she's just like sitting there floating around in her chair. But we have yet to really face her with our new sort of, with cheap shot meta. So we'll certainly see how this goes. Goes with that with that strategy. It looks like she's certainly not immune to it. Not the wildest pattern ever, but you do want to kind of keep a good eye on it, not go cross-eyed or get a tear in your eye when you're dodging all that stuff. Which is exactly what happened when we were dodging that. Just kind of like momentarily went cross-eyed, and you're just like, oh shit. But certainly, we're up to 67k in bonus points now, so we can certainly rack up the points. However, with those deaths, we're our points are starting at the beginning, and even more at the beginning now, at complete rock bottom again. However, it is nice to see that our our point multiplier is remaining the same, and now at like 70k, so that's pretty wild. See, I don't know about that. That was a little weird. We hit the release first. You can hear the release first. You can see the bullets being sucked into it, and then we were killed. But maybe maybe there were so many bullets going so fast that we got killed shortly after using it. I couldn't really say. All right, and although it's in Japanese and not translated, and it took me a while to understand what it meant. Essentially, she's now removed all her strength, so you can see on the side our power is now at 0 out of 4, which really limits us just to that little tiny pea shooter, that sort of dual cannon with the sort of scrolls, or charms rather. And you can see down by our release is at 0 as well, and really not gaining anything from those leaves that we're picking up. So that's the difficulty here at her last form, is that we're kind of stripped of every resource, and we just have the bare essentials to take her down. With the bombs really not doing a whole lot of damage either. It's really just straight up just bullets. So another continue there, and maybe I would argue maybe that's one of the more important continues. A lot of the other ones were pretty sloppy and stupid and just kind of like, well, who cares? These ones being rather important, because this is kind of like, this is just us and the boss, and we're trying to beat it legit, and try to do our best, whether it's practice or not. So we really have to consider, if we got to the boss, how well would we do? So maybe that was, what, 4, 5 cc, 6 cc, somewhere around there. I'm not sure. But it is causing bad ending here. Bad ending too. She doesn't look too happy, but you know what? It was a different pace, a different thing, so I'm happy with that. But that's going to be the end of this video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, do all that stuff. And we'll come back and play some more later.